Hello everyone, I am Durga Sojanya, Assistant Professor from ECE Department, MLR Institute of Technology. I am going to give the video lecture for the subject Embedded Systems Design. Now we are in third unit. So in that we are going to give the video lecture for the session Macros, Functions, I/O Programming, Timer Programming, Serial Port Programming. Our today's session is from third unit, which is macros, functions, I/O programming, timer programming and serial programming. The overview of today's session was the summary of previous session. So in previous session we have discussed what are the various terms used in our programming, like keywords, operators, data types, and what is the template of the embedded programming language, and so how can we use these in our programming, and branch instructions, loop instructions, so what is the purpose of different types of loop, like for loop, while loop, if loop. So we have discussed all these things in the previous session. So now in today's session we are going to discuss about the macros, functions, I/O programming, timer programming and serial programming. Let's go to the first one, which is macros. So in C programming, macro is a way to define a piece of code that can be reused throughout the program. So macro is nothing but a piece of code, a separate code which is used for defining a particular part of the program. So it is a preprocessor directive. It allows to define constants, functions, code snippets that can be easily substituted whenever they are called. So just like defining the constants, we have used the macros. Here these are used as preprocessor directives, which are consists of a piece of code. Number of lines are there. So these are used for defining a particular purpose. It everywhere, if we have any particular purpose is there, so we can use this piece of code at that purpose. So just like for add program. So if we have instructions for add in these lines, so this particular code will be used wherever we have used the add program. Macros are defined using hash define directive and can help in simplifying the complex code. These are used for improving the readability, reducing the code duplication. So instead of writing this code number of times in the main program, we can simply write the code only one time and we can define that particular name of that macro with hash define symbol. Then it is used for improving the readability and reducing the code duplication and simplifying our code. When the program is compiled, the macro statements are replaced by their corresponding value or code. So here when going to the compilation, so here we cannot use the same macro statements. They can go with the code or the corresponding memory value at where we started our program. Overall, macros are a powerful tool for writing flexible and efficient code in C programming. Whenever you convert a function with macro, it is called macro with argument. So that means when we have used any function name as an argument for the macro, then it is called as macro with argument. So it is good to be used for a small program to define a macro rather than to use it for a big program. So for complex programs or for big programs, we can use functions to define it anywhere for reducing the complexity of the code. For small programs, it is easy to use the macros because they are not visible in the compilation. Therefore, macros are easier to use in small programs and functions are easier to use in the complex or large programs. Next, functions. So here a function is defined in the C programming language as a block of code that can specify the action or operations to be executed when the function is called. So whenever we have called a function in the main program. So in the main program, if we have called any function, then the program execution will move to that function. Then that part of code will be executed and again returned to the main program. So here a block of code can be used for specifying a particular actions or operations that to be executed in a function when it is called in the main program. A function is a block of code. It performs a specific task that included within a curly brackets like this, that takes inputs, does the processing of code and provides the resultant output. Here we have to give the inputs and we have to mention where we need to store our result. It includes the name of the function, it is the name of the function and the input parameters. So these are the input parameters and the return type. So this is the return type. Here we need to write return the value. So we need to return that value to here. Here we need to indicate the return value type. And the actual code that performs the desired actions, that is the code part will be written here. So the function definitions allow programmers to break down their code into modular and reusable components, making it easier to organize and maintain the large projects. So basically functions are used for breakdowning the entire code into different parts and each part will be performed with one function and we can call each function from the main program. And they can be broken down into the modulars and reusable components and making it easier to organize and maintain large projects. There are two types of functions are available in embedded C programming. The first one is predefined function, the second one is user defined function. In predefined function, it refers to a function that is already defined in the C programming language and can be used directly without needing to be declared or implemented again. So predefined function is nothing but that's already defined in the C programming language, so that there is no need for declaration. No declaration required for predefined function and we need to be implemented directly. These functions are built-in functions and can provide commonly used functionalities such as mathematical calculations, string manipulations, IO operations and memory management. Just like mathematical calculations means here addition. So we have the operations of sum, subtract or multiplication or division. So in math.h, this is the header file which includes all the mathematical calculations related operations. So for all these operations we have the functions in the math.h is the header file for that. So those are already inbuilt functions in the C programming library. So we can simply implement by using those libraries in our main programming. So there is no need for declaration. They are included in standard C libraries and can be called by the respective function names. But here we need to use the same name which is used in the C programming library. What the name used in the built-in library, we have to use the same name only. The predefined function is also known as inbuilt or derived or standard library function. So it is also called as standard library function or inbuilt function. So here we need to use whatever the name we have given in the library. So we have to use the same name in our main program. So the examples are string copy, string compare, printf, scanf. So we regularly see in the printf function. So it is a inbuilt predefined function. So because we can use directly in our program that printf of some statement, right? We cannot declare the printf and we cannot declare the variables inside the printf. So we can use directly printf without declaring the function. But we have to use the same name which was used in the C programming library. That is predefined functions. Next, user defined functions. User defined functions are created by the user and Those are not from the built-in programming language. It allows the user to define their own functions with specific functionality which can be called and executed within the C program. User-defined functions provide the ability to write modular and reusable code, enhancing the overall structure and organization of the program. So here, whatever the functions the user want to implement, so user can write their own functions by using this user-defined functions. It increases the scope and functionality, reusability, and it can define and use any function when a user wants. So when created by the user, so that function he can implement, the user can implement that function anywhere in the main program. So they can call anywhere in the main program that particular function which is defined by the user. Recursive functions. A recursive function in C is a function that calls itself during its execution. Say a function which is called itself a number of times is known as recursive function. By designing a recursive function, you can tackle complex tasks in a simpler and more organized manner. So if you want to perform the same operation number of times, we can use the recursive function. It can be used to tackle the complex tasks in a simpler and more organized manner. So it will continue calling itself until a base case is reached, at which the recursion will stop. So whether there is any condition is there to stop the recursion, then only that loop will be stopped. Otherwise, it will be continuously repeated the same number of times, the same process. Next one is IO programming. Here in IO programming, we have seen an example which is used for writing an 8051C program to blink LED when the switch is pressed. Here, IO operation means we can do the operation on input and output devices. Here I have taken switch, which is an input device, and LED, so which is an output device. So I am explaining the IO operations by using this simple program. Here first we need to declare our header file, which is register52.h, which is used for using all the registers in our controller. And next S-bit button P1 power 0, which is used for declaring the push button. So here in that pin we are connecting our push button switch. So in this pin P11 we are connecting our LED. And next main program, here P1 equal to 0x01. It indicates that the push button as input and LED as output. So we are declaring using our push button, which is P1.0 as an input pin and P1.1 as an output pin. So while of 1 means a continuous loop. So it will control in a while loop forever. The control will be taken by the while loop forever. So if button equal to 1, so that means here we are declaring the button with P1.0, which is the push button switch is connected. Whenever we are pressing our push button switch, then only the P1.0 is 1. So that is the button is equal to 1. So if the button is pressed, then LED is equal to 1. So that means LED will on. So if the button is not pressed, else means if the button is not pressed, the LED is equal to 0. So that means here if the button is pressed, LED is on. If the button is not pressed, then your LED is off. So by using a simple switch or push button switch, we can operate the LED to on or off. This is a simple IO programming. Next one is timer programming. Here we can write an 8051C program to toggle all the bits of port 1 continuously with some delay in between. So we can toggle all the bits of port 1 continuously with some delay in between the pins. So use timer 0 16-bit mode to generate the delay. Here first we have to declare our registers, which are register 51.h, and next void T0 delay. So here in the problem they have mentioned that timer 0, so that timer 0 delay of void. Here we can initialize with void main, and next while continuous loop, and next we can declare P1 with 0x55, and next T0 delay. So here T1 0x55 means it is used for indicating. So 55 means 5 is 0101. Another 5 is 0101. So that means here for port 1, P1.0, P1.1, port 1.2, port 1.3, port 1.4, port 1.5, port 1.6, port 1.7. So here we have mentioned the toggle all the bits. So here we are representing 1 bit on, 1 bit off, 1 bit on, 1 bit off. So 1 bit on, 1 bit off, 1 bit on, 1 bit off. So we are declaring with 1 bit on and 1 bit off with P1. So T0 delay. Now we are calling our delay program. Here we have used the function T0 delay. So now in this program we have learned how to use a function. So this is the function name. So in that function name, whenever the cursor will comes to here, the execution will move to this function. Now it is executed. So now we void T0 delay. So in this we need to indicate the T-mod value. Here we have used the timer 0. So with respect to the timer 0, whatever the bits, the respective bits used for timer 0 in T-mod register need to be set. So 0x01 is the code which is used for indicating the timer 0 and it's 16-bit mode. So the TL is 0x00. We are initializing the timer low bit 0, timer 0 lower port will be initialized with 0x00. Timer high 0 will be initialized with 0x35. And next we have run the timer 0 flag. That is TR01 is nothing but timer run bit should be set to 1. So whenever timer run bit should be set to 1, the timer will be operated. So while the timer flag is equal to 0. So whenever the timer flag will becomes 1, after the completion of the complete timer operation and whenever the timer is full with the total count, then the timer flag will be 1 and it indicates that then the timer run bit automatically moves to 0. So until that the timer will be repeating and it will continuously count the delay, and then while this condition is not satisfied, then the TR bit should be 0 and TF0 bit should be 0. So calculating the delay, how can we calculate the delay? So this is the maximum value of timer 0 and this is the required value of our time, which is 0x35 is the delay which is used for on and off. So we have to subtract that value with the maximum value. Then this is the CAFFH is the value of delay. So then this is the value for CAFFH is nothing but 51967 plus 1, which is 51968. So then this value, this count value in decimal into the time period required for 1 bit operation in 8051 microcontroller is 1.085 microseconds. So we need to multiply with that, then we will get the exact delay, which is 56.384 milliseconds, which is the approximated delay required for this program. So by using this delay program, we can, so here by using this program, the LED which is connected to this port will be on for 56.384 milliseconds and again off for 56.384 milliseconds. Again this bit will be on for off and here it will be on after this delay. So the same will be happen for all the bits of the port 1. So this is the timer programming. By using the timer, we can blink the LEDs on to off or off to on. Next, serial programming. So write a C program for 8051 to transfer the letter A serially at 480 but 4800 baud rate continuously. Use 8-bit data on 1 stop bit. Here first we need to declare our header file and void main. Here we are using the timer 1. Here we have used the timer 1 in mode 2. So that's why we are initializing our T-mod register with 0x00 and now for 4800 baud rate, the TH1 will be initialized with 0xFA and the SCON register, which is serial control register, is initialized with 0x50 and next TR1 should be 1. The timer run bit should be 1. So while of 1, we will go into the continuous loop. Here the S buffer should be loaded with the data which is A. Here we want to move, we want to transfer the data A. So whatever the data we want to transfer serially, so that will be moved to the S buffer, the place value the buffer value in the buffer. So while TI is not equal to 0, that is transmit interrupt. So whenever the transmit interrupt is 0, then the process will be stopped. Until that, it will be continuously transferring whatever the data in the S buffer. So after completion of data transfer from S buffer, then the Ti will be 0. So then it will be stopped. So to transfer letter A serially at a baud rate 4800 using the 8051 microcontroller. So this is the serial programming. Next one is, here in this session we have discussed what are the different important points which are discussed in the previous session, and in this session macros, functions, different types of functions like user defined functions and predefined functions, and how can we do the IO programming operations, how can we do the timer programming operations, and the serial programming, how can we transfer our data serially by using the 8051 microcontroller. So these are the topics which are discussed in the present session. Thank you.